A new development regarding the attack on the nation's capital on January 6th. The House committee now says it is cooperating with the Justice Department. As first reported by the New York Times and later confirmed by NBC News, the panel is agreeing to share transcripts of interviews they conducted with witnesses during the investigation into the Capitol insurrection, saying in a statement they want to address the needs of the DOJ, but are not inclined to share those details publicly. The committee is set to pick up with public hearings again on Tuesday. Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his Chief Operating Officer Gabriel Sterling are set to testify Tuesday in front of the committee investigating the January 6th riot. Raffensperger will speak publicly about the January 2021 infamous phone call where former President Trump asked him to find the votes necessary for him to win Georgia. Raffensperger refused to alter the state's official ballot count. He has spoken to the committee on the matter previously behind closed doors. Raffensperger's deputy, Gabe Sterling, is also expected to testify at the hearing. Joining me now is Chuck Todd, moderator of Meet the Press. Good morning.
Good morning, Christy.
Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his deputy, Gabriel Sterling, are both set to testify this week about former President Donald Trump's pressure to reverse the election results in Georgia. Raffensperger already survived a primary challenge from a Trump-backed candidate, so do you think there's less of a chance that he'll be hurt in November with Republican voters by testifying before this committee?
Yeah, Christy, I don't see how he gets hurt at all by this. I'm not saying there might be some Trump supporters that might hold him accountable. What, are they going to vote for the Democrat on that one? So I just don't think it ends up hurting him, but we'll see. You know, maybe there's a libertarian that ends up qualifying, or another independent candidate that qualifies that could siphon up just enough. And we know how close elections are these days in the state of Georgia, so I don't want to discount any small sliver of an electorate sitting on their hands or something like that. But I think Brad Raffensperger feels probably a little more politically strengthened after his primary victory, avoiding a runoff, than he did before. So I don't expect him to feel any concern about testifying, nor even what he has to say in his testimony.
There have been 3 days of testimony so far, and given the revelations we've heard between Mike Pence's safety and the leaked phone call more than a year ago, do you think we should really expect any more aha moments from their testimony?
Well, look, it depends on how closely folks have followed this. But I follow it pretty closely, and there's been a lot of ahas for me. So I think there's quite a few. Look, putting this timeline together I think really is put to rest this idea that this was a Keystone Cops operation. Look, they failed at overturning the election, and they failed at stopping the certification, they being the Trump operation. But it was a more serious effort. It was planned weeks and then days in advance, and in some ways, January 6th was the culmination when they realized all their other avenues were hitting a dead end, and January 6th was sort of the last desperate hope that they had of trying to stop the certification of the election. But I think look, I did not appreciate how much danger Mike Pence knew he was in on January 6th. They knew the day before that this was perhaps going to lead to violence, and I just think it puts the whole day in a different light for me, and I imagine others that are following this as well.
Chuck, thank you. Meet the Press airs at 10 right after 11 Alive Weekend Morning News.